So I grew up in a small little town called Alden outside of Philadelphia in this community called Delaware County, right? So it's really known for its Philly accents, it's known for its cheesesteaks, it's known for Wawa. So I grew up one of seven in a house that my father built. My father worked at the Arco refinery in South Philadelphia. I have 5 brothers and a sister. I was the 6th in line. So growing up was a very competitive childhood. I wanted to do whatever the boys were doing, and I actually did. If they played ice hockey, I played ice hockey, basketball. But what was really neat is when I got to high school, there was a sport called field hockey that the boys didn't play. It was a female sport. And I had this amazing mentor, Joan Broderick, Nancy Porter, another one of my coaches, and Rita. And so they got me into playing all these organized sports in junior high, led to playing in high school. When I was going into my senior year in high school, we went to camp at Pocono Mountain Sport Camp, and the coach from Penn State happened to be one of the coaches there. And she talked to my high school coach and she said, you know, Penn State's going to start giving scholarships to female athletes next year. And we really like what we see in Charlene. What do you think? She said, well, she's a very good student. She's very competitive, athletic, comes from a big family. No one in my family had ever gone to college. I was the first, really because probably my parents couldn't afford it. So this opportunity to receive a scholarship that was offered to me, it was 1975. Title IX had been enacted in 1972, but nobody was twisting arms back then. Like we're twisting a lot of arms right now to make sure that Title IX really, you know, is at the forefront for women's athletics right now. But back then it was sort of on the back burner. But Penn State was one of the very first schools to offer scholarships for female athletes. And it really wasn't because of the enactment of Title IX in 1972. It was because Penn State really felt it was the right thing to do. Our university president, our athletic directors, and I think just some strong women in our athletic department, Ellen Perry, Marty Adams, my coach Jillian Rattray was British, just very feisty. And so, you know, when I was finished my senior year, field hockey season, the coach, back then you weren't Zooming, you weren't visiting, she wrote to my field hockey coach and said, we would like to offer Charlene a scholarship. And then she wrote to me. And it was just unbelievable that I now had a path to go to college. I now had support financially so that it wasn't going to be a burden on my family. Back then, I think tuition, room, and board for the whole year was $3,000, you know. Not expensive, but still it was at that time for my family. So I played field hockey and lacrosse here at Penn State, was offered a scholarship, and I remember I never even seen Penn State before I decided to come here. So in the summer, I had to come up for my orientation, and we got packed up the car, my mom and dad, and we kept driving up, you know, the turnpike, driving up 322, and, you know, going along the beautiful Juniata, Schuylkill River, and you're coming up, and all of a sudden, this university just rises out of the mountains. It's almost like you get to Oz. And I was like, wow, this is a big school. I didn't realize, you know, how big a university it was. But it's still a very intimate university because it's in a very small town. So we came here, and I had a chance, first time that I met the coach really in person, met her at the office, and I remember I said to my mom and dad, well, you're coming with me. And my mom's like, I'm not going, I wouldn't know what to say. She was very intimidated, but my dad and I went in, and we went through the orientation process, and a month later, my parents brought me back here and dropped me off, and they gave me 3 $20 bills, and they said, we'll see you at Thanksgiving, and we're so proud of you, and, you know, we'll try to make some games when you're in Philadelphia. And I just remember, you know, me crying and my mom crying, and my dad said to my mom, for God's sake, Eleanor, we're dropping her off at college, it's not prison. You know, you're gonna see her again. So that was the start of my career here at Penn State.